He was a billionaire used to controlling everything until a flat tire on a forgotten mountain road changed his life forever. Michael Carter wasn't supposed to be there. He had planned a quick weekend escape with his daughter Lily before diving back into corporate chaos. But when a violent storm stranded them deep in the wilderness, with no cell signal, no help in sight, and night closing in, he was forced to make a decision no algorithm could solve. And then she appeared. A hooded woman stepping out of the forest mist offering shelter, a stranger, a mystery, a risk. But nothing could have prepared Michael for the truth that would unravel inside that hidden cabin. That this woman wasn't just a hermit in the woods, she was family, and that the child he had raised wasn't his by chance. What secret was buried in that mountain? What really happened to the woman he once trusted and unknowingly abandoned? And would this encounter save them? Or destroy everything he believed? If you think you know where this story's going, think again, because some roads don't trap you. They wake you up. Stay with us. What happens next will leave you breathless. The mountain road twisted like a serpent through the wilderness, shrouded in heavy fog and drenched in relentless rain. Michael Carter, billionaire, tech mogul and single father, gripped the steering wheel of his luxury SUV with one hand and cradled his shivering daughter Lily with the other. The vehicle had come to a dead-stop flat tire. No signal, no civilization in sight. The storm outside wasn't just cold, it was unforgiving. Thunder cracked above like a threat. Michael wrapped his coat tight around Lily and glanced through the foggy windshield. That's when he saw her, a figure cloaked and still stood just beyond the tree line. The hood concealed her face, but her presence was undeniable, strangely calm, almost ghost-like. "Don't come any closer," Michael warned, voice firm, shielding Lily instinctively. The woman didn't flinch. Her voice cut through the rain. "The real question is, what are you doing here with a child on a road that even the locals avoid in storms like this?" Michael hesitated. Who was she? What was she doing out here alone? And more importantly, was she a threat or something else entirely? "Our car broke down, no signal." "We didn't plan this," he replied, loosening his protective grip on Lily. The woman stepped into clearer view, revealing a handmade cloak and a worn earth-tone dress trimmed in golden embroidery. Her eyes were steady. There was a presence about her, strong, quiet, and almost otherworldly. "My name's Emma Dawson," she said. "I live nearby. If you want your daughter to stay warm and dry, follow me. But make up your mind quickly. The storm's only getting worse." Michael hesitated. As the founder of Carter Innovations, he'd built an empire by trusting data, not strangers, but Lily was trembling, soaked to the bone. Logic gave way to fatherly instinct. "I'm Michael Carter. This is my daughter Lily. We'll take your offer." "Thank you." As they followed Emma down a barely visible path through the trees, Michael couldn't shake the questions racing through his mind. Who lives alone in a forest like this? Why did she seem so prepared? The trail led to a cabin that looked like it had grown straight from the mountain itself. Stone and timber surrounded by herbs and wildflowers. Inside the space was unexpectedly warm and inviting. Dried herbs hung from the ceiling. A wood-burning stove crackled softly. Books lined the walls, medical texts, natural remedies, and field guides. Emma handed them towels and dry clothes. "I'm an herbalist," she said casually. "I provide natural remedies to nearby communities. I'm not isolated, I'm connected." Michael helped Lily change into the clothes offered, still observing every detail. Who was this woman, really? He scanned her bookshelf and frowned at a title. Advanced Cellular Therapy. You have formal training. Not everyone defines success the way you do. "Mr. Carter," Emma replied without missing a beat. Her tone was sharp but calm, as if she already knew exactly who he was. That night, over a simple dinner of soup and fresh bread, Lily, usually shy with strangers, watched with fascination as Emma brewed a tea, using herbs from glass jars. "It smells like the things my grandma used to make in my dreams," Lily said innocently. Michael froze. Lily had never met her grandparents. Where had that memory come from? Later, after Lily fell asleep on a makeshift cot, Michael sat by the fire. Emma returned with 2 mugs of herbal tea. "How much do I owe you for this hospitality?" Michael asked, reaching for his wallet. Emma's expression darkened. Not everything has a price, Mr. Millionaire. I didn't mean to offend, I know exactly who you are. Emma interrupted, her voice shaking for the first time. I've waited 5 years to find you. Michael stiffened. What was she talking about? My sister, Rachel Dawson, worked for you. Your assistant, she got pregnant. You fired her, she died in childbirth. The only name on the baby's birth certificate was yours. Michael's heart dropped. Rachel. He hadn't heard that name in years. She had left his company. Suddenly he was told she needed time for personal reasons. She never said she was pregnant. That can't be true, he whispered. There was never anything between us. She never told me. You're lying, Emma snapped. You raised my niece without even trying to find her family. The fire popped and hissed. Rain hammered the roof. Michael stared into the flames, unable to speak. Was she right? Had he missed something so important? Had he stolen a child, not knowingly, but through ignorance? Outside, the wind howled like a warning. Inside, silence hung heavy between two strangers, bound by a child they both loved, and a past shrouded in secrets. But was Emma telling the truth? Or was there more to the story than even she knew? Forgive me for pausing the story at such a critical moment. But now I have a few questions for you, our amazing viewers. What would you have done if you were in Michael's place, trusted a stranger in the woods, or kept walking into the storm? And do you think Emma is telling the full truth, or is she hiding something even bigger? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me where in the world you're watching from. If this story pulled you in, even a little, please show some love by liking the video and tapping the heart. And trust me, you won't see what's coming next. Morning broke over the misty mountains with a deceptive calm. Sunlight filtered weakly through the cabin windows, casting golden streaks across the floor. Michael stirred, confused at first by his surroundings, until he remembered the storm, the woman in the woods, and the revelation that shook the foundation of his reality. He rose quietly so as not to wake Lily and found Emma outside, her hands brushing dew from freshly picked herbs. Her eyes met his with the cold sharpness of someone still carrying too many unspoken words. We need to talk, he said, his voice low, steady. After last night, she replied, bitter. I think you've said enough. No, you deserve the truth, all of it. Emma didn't speak, but she didn't walk away either. Michael ran a hand through his hair, the weight of memory hanging heavy on him. Rachel never told me she was pregnant. When she quit, she left a letter, said she needed space. I respected that Emma scoffed, but listened. 6 months later, someone left a baby in the lobby of my company. With Lily. There was a note and a DNA test. I was shocked, I had no idea. But my wife and I, he paused, the word, wife feeling foreign now. We had struggled for years to have a child, so we adopted her. We loved her. Emma crossed her arms. Then why didn't you ever try to find us? I did. But by then Rachel had passed and no one ever mentioned a sister. Believe me, I tried. Did you really? She asked, her voice trembling. You're one of the most powerful men in the country. If you truly wanted to, you would have found me. Michael said nothing. My marriage fell apart because of the adoption, he finally added. My wife couldn't handle raising a child that wasn't biologically hers. She left, I stayed. I raised Lily alone. There was a long pause. The only sound was the soft chirping of birds returning after the storm. Then a quiet voice broke the silence. Daddy Lily stood at the cabin's doorway, rubbing her eyes, her hair tousled like a halo. Good morning, Princess. Michael smiled gently. Lily walked to him, then turned curiously to Emma. Why are you sad? Emma kneeled down, managing a smile. I'm not sad, sweetheart. You just remind me of someone I love very much. Who? Lily asked innocently. Michael nodded slowly. Your mom. Emma whispered, she was my sister. Lily's eyes lit up. You're my aunt. Like in the fairy tales, Emma nodded, too choked up to speak. Lily did what children do best. She hugged her without hesitation. The moment softened something inside Michael. Later that day, they made the trek into the nearby town of Willow Creek to fix the SUV. While the mechanic explained that special parts had to be ordered, Michael arranged lodging at a local inn. Emma took Lily to explore the town square. When Michael caught up, he found his daughter laughing and playing with local children, more animated than he'd ever seen her. He watched amazed. She's never connected with anyone this quickly before Emma glanced at him. Children don't carry the walls we build as adults, they just feel. Over the next few days, a strange new rhythm took hold. Michael worked remotely from the town's community center, balancing boardroom meetings in the morning with walks through the village in the afternoon. Lily thrived, learning the names of herbs, chasing butterflies, helping Emma sort plants and wrap herbal bundles for deliveries. One evening after watching Lily dance barefoot at a local celebration in the plaza, Michael turned to Emma. She belongs here. She feels something here. I couldn't give her in the city. Emma didn't answer, but the flicker in her eyes said she'd noticed too. That night under the warm glow of lanterns, they sat together on a wooden bench sipping local cider. Michael finally asked the question that had been haunting him. What was Rachel like? Not as my assistant, but as your sister? Emma smiled, wistful. She loved classical music. She could quote Shakespeare, but couldn't boil an egg. She had this dream of blending science and tradition, of helping people in a way that felt real. Michael exhaled slowly. She was the best assistant I ever had, but I never really knew her. And now Emma said gently, "You're raising her daughter." That's the universe's irony. They sat in silence, the kind that binds people rather than separates them. But just when Michael thought things might be settling, his phone buzzed. A call from his assistant in New York City. His company was facing a hostile takeover. He had to return immediately. That night he barely slept. The next morning he sat Lily down gently. "I have to go fix something important." "Honey," he said, "but I want you to stay here with your Aunt Emma." "Will you come back?" Lily asked wide-eyed. "Always," Michael whispered. Always. Before he left, he handed Emma an envelope with access to a private account. "Use it for anything she needs, please." Emma tried to refuse, but Michael insisted. "This isn't charity. It's my duty as her father." He left Willow Creek with a strange ache in his chest, one he hadn't felt in years, and neither he nor Emma knew just how much this goodbye would change everything. Forgive me for cutting off the story here, especially when things are just starting to unravel. But let me ask you this. What do you think Michael should do next? Fight for his company or come back and fight for his daughter's roots? And do you believe Emma's starting to trust him? Or is she still holding something back? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what country you're watching from. If this story made you feel something, don't forget to like and tap the heart to support it, and it will turn everything on its head. 3 weeks passed. From the top floor of his high-rise in New York City, Michael Carter looked out over a skyline that once thrilled him. Now it felt distant, cold, empty. He'd fought hard, won the battle against the corporate takeover, threatening Carter Innovations. On paper, he'd saved everything, but inside something felt lost. Every video call with Lily only deepened the ache. She seemed brighter in Willow Creek, her cheeks rosier, her laugh freer. She'd started making seed necklaces with Emma, helping deliver herbal remedies. She was growing, and not just taller, but rooted, aware, alive. One night while reviewing quarterly earnings, he paused. Was this still the life he wanted? The next morning he made the call. Cancel the tech conference. Prep the jet. I'm going back to Willow Creek. But sir, no, something more important came up. When he arrived, dusk was falling. The scent of pine and wildflowers filled the air. As he stepped out of the SUV, his heart pounded harder than it had in any boardroom. Lily saw him first. "Daddy." She screamed, sprinting from the cabin into his arms. Michael scooped her up, spinning her through the air, holding her tighter than he ever had. Over her shoulder, he saw Emma frozen in the doorway, her expression unreadable. "Welcome back," she said quietly. Later that evening, as Lily slept inside, Michael and Emma sat by the fire outside the cabin, wrapped in thick wool blankets. "I didn't come here to take her away. Michael said I came back because this feels more real than anything I've built." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small folded envelope. "What's this?" Emma asked. "It's not a check," he smiled. "It's a proposal, a real one." Inside was a blueprint, an idea Michael had been working on, secretly a rural wellness center, modern medicine, fused with traditional healing, a community hub. And at the center of it all, Emma Dawson as director and lead herbalist. Emma stared at the plans, then back at Michael. "Why me?" "Because you know how to heal people." And because Lily needs both our worlds, I want her to grow up proud of where she came from and where she can go. For a long moment, Emma said nothing. Her eyes flicked from the fire to the stars above. Do you really think people like us, people so different, can build something that lasts? Michael didn't answer. Instead, he opened a small wooden box. Inside was a ring carved not from gold, but from cedar cut from the very tree where they'd first met. Our story didn't start clean, he said softly. But maybe that's what makes it real. Will you help me raise her? And maybe let this become more than just co-parenting. Emma's breath caught. For a moment she didn't move, then slowly with trembling fingers, she took the ring. Rachel would have liked this, she whispered. She always believed in impossible things, but fate had one more twist to offer. The next day, as they prepared to head into the village for the seasonal harvest festival, a familiar black SUV pulled up. Out stepped a man in a suit, Michael's private investigator, holding a weathered leather journal. We found it, he said, Rachel's journal. Inside were entries Rachel had written in her final months, letters to Lily, reflections of fear, hope, and love. In one entry, she admitted she never told Michael about the baby because she feared he'd take the child away. She wanted her daughter to grow up surrounded by trees, not towers. Emma's hands trembled as she read it aloud. Michael sat in silence, tears burning his eyes. She never gave me the chance to choose. He whispered no. Emma agreed, but now we both can. Weeks later, Michael stood in the rebuilt town square of Willow Creek, surrounded by villagers, doctors, and city officials. The Willow Creek Wellness Center opened its doors, a symbol of what happens when two worlds stop clashing and start collaborating. And there, under banners of autumn leaves, Lily stood on a small wooden stage, proudly reciting a poem she'd written about her family. My mom gave me roots, my dad gave me wings, and my aunt gave me the courage to bloom in between. As she finished, the crowd rose in applause. Michael held Emma's hand tightly, their eyes locked on the little girl who had once brought them together and now held them there. Sometimes family isn't born, it's chosen. And sometimes the roads we think trap us are actually guiding us, exactly where we're meant to be. I'm truly sorry for interrupting this story right here, just as your heart might still be catching its breath. But let me ask you this. Do you believe that two people from completely different worlds can build a family stronger than blood? And what would you have done if you found a journal that changed everything you thought you knew? Now tell me, how did this story make you feel? If it touched your heart. Comment 3 if it felt just okay. Comment 2 if it didn't land for you. Comment 1, I truly want to hear it all. Also, let me know which country you're watching from. And don't forget to tap the heart and share this story with someone who believes that love, even when messy, is always worth fighting for.